All right, well, good afternoon. My name is Will Pines, and I'm the administrator for Maryland State Highway Administration. In April, Governor Moore announced the creation of the Work Zone Safety Group. This group, led by Lieutenant Governor Miller, a former traffic engineer, is a much-needed step in the right direction to make our work zone safer for workers and motorists. Safety, including work zone safety, has been and always will be a top priority for SHA. When we send our workers out onto the roadways every day, we have an obligation to make sure they return home safely to their families. As you know, this last March, we suffered a tragedy on the outer loop of the Baltimore Beltway. Within seconds, we lost 6 members of our transportation family. Most crashes are not accidents, because the driver behaviors that cause the crashes are preventable. This was a preventable and horrible crash that has forever impacted the lives of loved ones and the transportation industry. Motorists need to change their behavior when behind the wheel and approaching and navigating work zones. There will be an emphasis on enhanced education campaigns and increased law enforcement presence in work zones to enforce safe driving, such as enforcing the move over law. We will always be looking out for ways to leverage technology and innovative safety solutions to improve safety in our work zones. I'm looking forward to hearing the latest from the Work Zone Group. With that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the chair of the Governor's Work Zone Safety Group, our Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aruna Miller, Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, and I am so honored to be here joined today with numerous safety leaders. Maryland State Highway Administrator Will Pines, MVA Administrator Chrissy Nizer, and also the chair of the Work Zone Safety Group's Driver Behavior Subcommittee, and SHA Deputy Administrator Terry Seuss, chair of the Work Zone Safety Group's Roadway Operations Subcommittee, and you'll also hear later from chart operator Howard Bostic, who will share his experience in a crash that took place at a work zone. I also want to extend my deepest gratitude for the collective knowledge, experience, and expertise provided by the numerous individuals and organizations who have joined us and continue to play a significant role in the Work Zone Safety Work Group. The transportation engineers, law enforcement officers, labor leaders, and workers. Across Maryland, on any given day, there is an average of 1,000 roadway workers improving Maryland's transportation infrastructure at more than 300 work sites. In 2023, there were 804 crashes along Maryland work zones, averaging 3 crashes per day. That means for the people who work at these sites, it's not a matter of if they will see a crash, it's a matter of when. This staggeringly high number of crashes is an unacceptable reality for Maryland workers. It's why we created the Work Zone Safety Work Group, to recommend successful practices, to reduce work zone crashes, and to maximize public, job site, and worker safety, and to finally, to educate drivers and encourage change in their behavior, to bring a culture shift while driving by work zones. Over the past several months, the work group has met together to identify the biggest challenges that need to be addressed to make our work zones safer for construction workers, for law enforcement officers, for first responders, and the traveling public. The areas of focus include roadway operation and driver behavior. Recommendations include, but are not limited to, modifying an outdated statute requiring all speed cameras to be manned by an operator, installing a greater number of automated speed cameras at roadway construction sites, increasing the citation amount for speeding near a construction site, modernizing technology surrounding how our work zones are set up, and utilizing the latest technology to make our workers more visible to motorists. The group will continue to meet, and by the end of the year, will provide a comprehensive list of legislative, executive, and regulatory recommendation actions that can be implemented to make our work zones safer. Governor Moore's and my greatest priority is to keep Marylanders safe, but we need motorists to do their part as well. We need drivers to change their behavior when they're driving through a work zone, and that behavior shift can only happen when we involve everyone in the process. We have to make sure everyone's voice is heard. That's why today we're announcing the Work Zone Safety Work Group has put together a public survey. I'm calling on Marylanders to join us in this collaborative effort to make our work zones safer by sharing their input and feedback. The survey should take less than 2 minutes to complete. Please visit our website, zerodeathsmd.gov/WZ survey, or visit any of our MBA branches to take the survey. The survey will be open until October 12th of this year. I know that the culture change that we need to see around work zones is possible because it's been done before. The culture surrounding drivers and passengers wearing seatbelts looked very different 35 years ago. It took a combination of laws, public education, and enforcement to create a culture shift where buckling in a seatbelt is now an automatic habit. Today's seatbelt usage exceeds over 90% compliance. We collectively made tremendous progress to improve public safety and save lives through the usage of seatbelts, and we can do the same at work zones. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be an overnight transition, but every day we can improve safety of all our transportation users. Governor Moore and I have made this issue a priority for the Moore-Miller administration. I worked for 25 years as a transportation engineer. I personally know the tireless and challenging work that men and women in the construction industry do every day while placing themselves in harm's way. Our roadway construction workers build and maintain the vital infrastructure that all of us depend on every single day, and they deserve to come home to their loved ones at the end of every day, like all Marylanders workers do. And we expect the people of Maryland to do their part to keep others safe. By taking part in changing the culture around work zones, we encourage you to take the survey and let us better understand your concerns. Let's make Maryland a leader in the work zone safety. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Miller. Next, we will hear from Administrator of Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration and the Governor's Highway Safety Representative, Chrissy Nizer.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. Again, my name is Chrissy Nizer. I'm the MBA Administrator and Governor Moore's Highway Safety Representative. We certainly want to thank the Lieutenant Governor for her great leadership in this area, as well as our SHA Administrator, Will Pines, and Deputy Administrator Seuss for their partnership as we work together to save lives in Maryland. And I also really want to thank Howard for being here. You'll hear from him in a little bit, and his story, unfortunately, is way too familiar. We are dedicated to doing everything we can to stop those kind of incidents from happening, but thank you and your colleagues for what you do every day. Everyone here has the same goal: to eliminate the unnecessary serious injuries and fatalities that have resulted from motor vehicle crashes, especially in work zones. Again, as Will said, these are not accidents, these are crashes. These crashes result from choices that the driver has made or failed to make, either before they got behind the wheel or while they're behind the wheel. which then lead to the injury or death of a fellow road user. If you're speeding, you choose to drive even though you're impaired, or you failed to buckle your seatbelt, those are deliberate actions that each driver takes. We owe it to the victims and their families. That's why to us, they're crashes and not accidents. And we encourage everybody to change that language so that we can help to drive these numbers down. And these behaviors are exactly what the Driver Behavior Subcommittee is focused on for the Work Zone Safety Group. Our focus is changing the behavior of drivers to really get through to everyone that each and every one of us has a personal responsibility to drive safely so we don't lose lives on our roadway. Our group is developing recommendations on education, public marketing, driver notification, and enforcement efforts. Some of the potential recommendations we've been discussing are tried and true. For example, updating the curriculum for driver education, as well as looking at the manual and the tests that our rookie drivers take to make sure that they understand from day one the importance of driving safely in a work zone. But we're also looking at new and innovative solutions such as driver alert system technology. And something that has been brought up repeatedly as we've had our conversations is whether the state of Maryland fines for speed camera violations are effective at reducing speed in work zones. We're looking at our neighboring states as well as across the nation to implement best practices on all behavioral aspects of work zone safety. We're also looking forward to analyzing the survey results that Lieutenant Governor just announced and talking about residents about their thoughts on work zone safety. One driver's action behind the wheel can have a profound impact on so many lives. Lives can be forever altered in just that one moment. There's been 263 days so far this year, but there's only been 50 days without a fatality on our roadway. Think about that for a minute. In those 213 days, 431 people have died in motor vehicle crashes. 431. It's 431 families, communities, individuals whose lives will never, ever be the same. Last year, the longest stretch we had without a fatality was 5 days. So far this year, we've only made it 4 days without a fatality on our roadways in the state of Maryland. I know we agree. Simply unacceptable. Year to date, when we compare our numbers with last year, we're tracking 6% higher, which means at this point we're projecting that we might reach over 600 fatalities as a result of roadway crashes in Maryland this year. If that happens, it'll be the first time since 2007 that we've reached that high of fatality number, certainly moving in the exact wrong direction from where we want to be. So today we're really sounding the alarm for each and every person in Maryland. We know those numbers are unacceptable, and if we don't get drivers to change their behavior, we're going to experience even more needless deaths on our roadway. That means paying attention and slowing down across the state, especially in our work zones. And it means every person, every time you get behind the wheel, buckling up and making sure everyone in the vehicle is buckled up, because a crash can occur anywhere. Sometimes otherwise minor motor vehicle crashes have resulted in a fatality due to somebody not being buckled up and either ejected from the vehicle or seriously injuring or killing somebody within the vehicle itself. It also means driving sober, not consuming alcohol or drugs before getting behind the wheel. It also means being courteous, being kind to others on the roadway. Move over, let someone else merge over. Moving forward, our Highway Safety Office will be implementing additional notifications regarding our roadway fatalities, like monthly press releases, so motorists are constantly aware of what's happening on our roadways. And again, our goal is really to change that behavior so we can drive those numbers down, because they're not just numbers, they're people, they're stories, each and every one of them. Our goal in Maryland is 0 fatalities, 0 injuries, and 0 deaths on Maryland roadways. It will take each and every one of us, and we're asking each of you, please do your part. Help us save a life. And if we start by better protecting our road construction workers, we're also protecting someone's parent, someone's child, someone's sibling, someone's friend. So on your next drive home, please slow down, Please buckle up and stay alert. And together, we can create a new culture of courtesy on our roadways. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chrissy. The work group consists of two subcommittees, highway operations and driver behaviors. Now I would like to introduce to you the chair of the highway operations subcommittee, Terry Seuss.
Good afternoon. My name is Terry Seuss. I'm the Deputy Administrator for Operations at the State Highway Administration and the Chair of the Roadway Operations Subcommittee for the Work Zone Safety Work Group. This has been a challenging year so far regarding work zone safety. It seems like every day there is a work zone related crash. This is unacceptable and driver behaviors must change. Each day there are approximately 300 active work zones on our highways. These include large construction projects, resurfacing projects, utility work, general highway maintenance, and survey crews. Highway workers go out each day to improve our infrastructure and make sure that Maryland maintains a world-class transportation system. They are in harm's way. Most work zone related crashes are caused by drivers making poor decisions. This includes speeding, distraction, and impairment. Our subcommittee is charged with identifying the things we can do as the transportation industry to keep everyone safe in work zones. We are laser focused on two immediate goals for work zone safety. These are communicating with drivers and protecting highway workers. Signing work vehicles and other devices let drivers know they are entering a work zone. We are reviewing standards to ensure that we use them correctly and consistently across the state. Many people have likely already seen the use of green lights along with amber lights on our work trucks. This has been a proven success in improving visibility of work trucks. The use of automated speed enforcement is also a key concept in our toolbox. Our subcommittee is exploring how technology has evolved in this area and how it works with current Maryland law. Separating workers from high-speed traffic through the use of concrete barrier or completely detouring traffic are two immediate elements we will engage in to protect workers. Night work presents another set of challenges. Low visibility is an issue. Lighting systems for the work area and wearable lighting systems for the workers to provide a heightened level of visibility for everyone. We will try to conduct more highway work during daylight hours. This may cause some delays, but a few extra minutes is a small price to pay to ensure workers get home in one piece each day. There are no magic solutions. It will take all of us to come together and obey the rules of the road to let highway workers know that we literally have their backs. Thanks for having me here today. Please be the driver who respects work zones and is courteous to our highway workers. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Our final speaker today has a scary story to tell. Howard Bostic is an emergency responder with the State Highway Administration Coordinated Highway Action Response Team. He, along with all our CHART responders across the state, are your guardian angels. They patrol our highways 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year long, to ensure that the safety of the motoring public is there. Howard, we look forward to hearing your story of a recent crash that you were involved with while assisting a motorist.
Thank you for inviting me to be here today. My name is Howard Bostic. I am an emergency response technician for CHART, generally working the Baltimore Beltway. I am a member of the Driver Behavior Subcommittee work group led by Administrator Nizer. Bringing a unique perspective to the work group behind active in the work zones and seeing driver behavior firsthand. And unfortunately, I was involved in one of the 1,200 work zone crashes that happen each year. My story is I was patrolling and it was a misty rain day, December 7th, 2022. Got a call from Traffic Operations Center that a rollover vehicle southbound JFX is prior to Fayette Street. I responded with emergency lights and sirens. I get there, we had lane number 3 down. So I activated the airboard, put out a 8-cone taper, and soon as I walked from behind my tow truck, I stopped to talk to the lieutenant on the fire engine, and he said, "Watch out." We turned around. All I saw was a van coming towards my vehicle, hit my vehicle at 70 miles an hour. We had van parts come over top of my vehicle. It was hit so hard, and it moved it at least 10 feet from its original position, and the back axle was broken, and there was no injuries, very minor. EMS got there and did their job, and everybody was safe that day, and we was fortunate that it ain't turned out worse than it was. The crash was scary and my life flashed before my eyes. My hope is that the recommendations that are developed through the work group will help with protect roadside workers like me. Since joining the work group, the members have listened to me talk about what I have seen on the roadways and what I think could help change the driver behavior. But now it is time that we ask the Marylanders to provide their input. Please complete the survey at zerodeathsmd.gov/workzone-survey. And I'll turn it back over to Will right now. It was scaredness, being scared first, then turning around, making sure everybody in front of the truck was okay, then making sure the people in the van was okay. And I got upset, like rightfully so, because if you see one of our trucks out there and it's all lit up night, day, no matter what time it is very visible. The color of it, everything is very visible. And to my left, you can see some right here, some of the pictures that we took for that we have on. We took the. All I'm saying is, just be aware. Help us, help you. And I'll turn it back over to Will.
Well, thank you, Howard. We've heard some compelling testimony today. We are all in this together. We need to change driver behaviors now to make sure highway crews go home free of harm each day. Thank you, and I want to give one final plug to fill out the survey for zerodeathsmd.gov/WZ survey. Thank you.